Good morning, students. Today we are going to study chapter number 2 in plant morphology and anatomy, that is morphology of reproductive parts, which includes mainly three parts in it, that is inflorescences, flower and fruits. So in this chapter, in first part, we are studying first point, that is introduction and definition. The flowers or flowering plants mature when its vegetative organs such as root, stem and leaves are fully developed. At maturity it produces reproductive organs, that is flowers. Like vegetative birds, flowers are produced from floral buds. The flowers are either produced singly or in clusters. They are produced at apical, axillary or intercalary position. In some plants they are produced at extra axillary position. Rachis or peduncle is the main axis of inflorescences. The inflorescence is branch with cluster of flowers. Flowers with a stalk is called as pedicellate flower, while the flowers without stalk are called sessile flowers. Peduncle is usually elongated but sometimes forms fleshy receptacles. After introduction, we must see the definition of flower. See here, a definition of inflorescences. So see here, an inflorescence is defined as a specialized branch which bears cluster of flowers. It comprises main axis, stalk of individual flowers, bracts, bracteoles and flowers. Bracts and bracteoles are special leaves. Colored or green bract that covers entire inflorescences is called spathe. Ring of many bracts is capitulum or involucre. The involucres show great variations in shape, size, number of flowers and periodicity of their formation. Some plant flowers only one in its life, whereas others flowers perennially. Then after that we must see types of inflorescences. There are following categories of inflorescences based on the basis of arrangement of flowers: racemose, cymose and special type of inflorescences. The racemose inflorescences again categorized on the basis of rachis, that rachis elongated, rachis shortened and rachis suppressed or rachis flattened. On the such type of basis, the racemose type of inflorescences are having different subtypes. So first we see the characteristics of racemose inflorescences. The rachis never terminate in a flower. Second character, the primary axis growing indefinitely. Third character, there is no limit to produce flowers, therefore also called as indefinite or intermediate inflorescences. Fourth character, the lowermost or outermost flower opens first and gradually progress upwards or towards center. This order of opening of flower is called as the acropetal or centripetal order respectively. Fifth character, the acropetal order is seen in long axis. Next character, the centripetal order is found on condensed flat roundish structure called receptacle. And last character, that on the basis of nature of peduncle, that is whether it is elongated, shortened, suppressed or flattened. Racemose inflorescence has following subtypes such as the raceme type, panicle type, spike type, spadix type, catkin type, corymb type, umbel type, capitulum or capitate type, etc. So we must see the first type of inflorescences, that is the racemose inflorescences. In racemose inflorescences, there is a first type, that is a raceme inflorescences on the basis of branched or unbranched main axis. It is divided into two subtypes: simple raceme and compound raceme. So first we see that is simple raceme. It is characterized that primary axis, that is peduncle, is elongated, it is unbranched, flowers are pedicellate and are arranged in acropetal succession. This is very common type found in brassica. In common it is called as the mustard. Then cleome, cassia, cisalpinia, pulcherrima, or it is called as the shankasur. So these are the few examples of this simple raceme type of inflorescences. Then second subtypes, that is compound raceme, which is characterized that main axis is elongated and branched. Second character, that flowers are produced on branches. It is also called as panicle. The flowers are pedicellate and are arranged in acropetal succession. Example, that is peltophorium, then neem. Third example, that is gulmohar. So these are the some examples of this compound raceme type of inflorescences. Then after that there is the second type, that is spikes type of inflorescences. Like a racemose inflorescences, based on the branched or unbranched peduncle, it may be of two types, that is simple spike and compound spike. Simple spike is characterized that the main axis is elongated and unbranched. It is also characterized that the flowers are sessile. Flowers are either unisexual or bisexual. Example, that is acheranthus, then celosia, then idiathoda, etc. These are few examples of the simple spike. Then spike type of inflorescences is again having the second subtypes, that is the compound spike, which is characterized that the main axis is elongated and branched. Flowers are sessile. Flowers are either unisexual or bisexual. Example, amaranthus and polyanthus. Then next type, that is the spadix type of inflorescences. It is spadix and compound spadix type. So first we see spadix, that is main axis is unbranched, thick and fleshy. The flowers are unisexual and sessile. The inflorescence is covered by one or more bracts called as spathe. In some plants, spathe is colored. In this inflorescence, female flowers are present at the base of axis. Male flowers are present at upper part of axis. Above female flowers and below male flowers, few sterile flowers are also present. The tip of axis is also sterile. Example, arum, amorphophallus, etc. These are few examples of these spadix type of inflorescences. Then second subtypes, that is the compound spadix. The main axis is branched. The flowers are unisexual and produced in branches. The inflorescence is covered by a woody or fleshy spathe. Example, coconut and banana. Then next type, that is the umbel type of inflorescences. It is also having some two subtypes, that is simple umbel and compound umbel. first we see simple umbel, that this inflorescence is characterized by the primary axis is very much shortened. The flowers are pedicellate and arise from the top of axis. The pedicels are of equal length, due to which the cluster looks like as umbrella. The younger flowers are in the center and older ones towards the periphery. Example, that is, flowers are open centripetally. The flowers are bracteate. Bracts form a whorl at the base of flowers called involucre. Example, hydrocotyle and calotropis. These are the two examples of the simple umbel. Then second subtypes, that is compound umbel. This inflorescence is characterized by the primary axis is shortened and it produces branches from top. Each branch produces cluster of small pedicellate flowers. The cluster of flowers is referred as umbel. The order of opening of flower is centripetal. Each umbel is surrounded by a whorl of bracteoles called involucre. The entire inflorescence is subtended by involucre. Example, that is coriander and carrot. So these are some examples of this such type of inflorescences. The next type, in racemose type of inflorescences, is the capitulum inflorescences, which is characterized by the primary axis is flattened, more or less convex, disc-like structure called receptacle. The receptacle bears numerous sessile flowers known as florets. The florets are arranged in centripetal manner. Each of floret has a scaly bracts and its base. The whole inflorescence is surrounded by a whorl of green bracts collectively called involucre. The florets may be alike or of two types. Example of this type of inflorescence is sunflower and tridax. Then next type, that is the catkin type of inflorescence, which is characterized by it is pendulous spike with main axis elongated. It bears naked pistillate or staminate flowers. Example, mulberry. The next example, that is corymbe inflorescence, which is characterized by the main axis is shortened. Lower floret flowers have much longer pedicels than the upper ones, so that all the flowers are brought more or less to the same level. Example, iberis. Okay, thank you.